Johnny here for do-it-yourself car maintenance and general car advice. So today I've had to wait for a nice cloudy day because I don't have access to a garage. So I've waited for a cloudy day because ideally you do not want to be waxing your car on a sunny day. So today's video is all about really important tips and tricks, just small quick stuff to really keep in mind because you can do a lot of damage to either your pressure washer or your vehicle if you don't keep these small tips in mind. So tip number one, your watch. If you have a watch, if you have a ring, you're going to want to take those off. Tip number two, don't have any belts exposed. So ideally wear soft clothing, jogging material, or make sure that your belt buckle is covered. You don't want any pins or any metal sticking out on your clothing. So just give yourself a little check over, make sure there's nothing that can affect the paint of your vehicle. Secondly, now when we get to talking about the pressure washer, if you don't have a pressure washer, you're going to be using a soap. You don't want to use a dish soap. Dish soap is actually going to take off any wax that's on your vehicle. Dish soap is a degreaser, so you're going to be bringing the paint down to its most basic, like right down to the paint, removing any wax. So if you're washing your vehicle, you're going to want to use a soap that's made for vehicles. Usually it'll be wash and wax, but here's another tip. This doesn't actually count as waxing your vehicle. It won't have the same effect as waxing your vehicle. So in the next video, to prepare you for the next video, what you're going to want to have is you're going to want to have two separate, completely clean, ideally new or freshly washed microfiber towels. Microfiber towels, here's another tip. You want to use real microfiber towels when you're doing a wax job because they're really great at, if there's any dust left on the vehicle, it's going to get hidden in the towel. So you want microfiber towels because they're made to pick up and hide any dust that it might go through. Rip off the tags because the tags can actually scratch your vehicle. So when you're waxing your vehicle, rip off the tags. Before I get to the waxing, we're going to have to get to the washing because there's been a few days since the last time I washed it and I want this vehicle perfectly clean before I wax. Next video we're going to be going with the easiest way to wax your vehicle. We're going to see how that turns out. It's going to be a spray wax. Now I have a feeling a spray wax is going to be less sturdy and it's going to last less long if we do a hard paste wax. That's going to be coming up in a later video, but for the next video we're going to try out spray wax. Now to get back to the pressure washer, some quick tips and tricks. Ideally, you don't want to put in your regular bucket soap, the soap that you use when you're doing the vehicle by hand. If you have a pressure wash, it's great, it's better, because as often as possible you don't want to be contacting your paint. You don't want to be rubbing things around on your paint. So this soap is, as you can see, quite a bit thicker than pressure washer soap. So we've got here any pressure washer soap that's for cars is ideal. You can see it's a lot less thick. It's much more liquid, and you're going to want to load that into your pressure washer tank. So make sure your pressure washer has the tank here that you can load your liquefied soap into, because if you try loading your thicker soap in, it's going to have more trouble coming out of the nozzle. Another little tip, your nozzle isn't going to be shooting out any soap when you're on the max setting. If your nozzle doesn't have a control, it's probably because you're on the nozzle that's made for decapping decks, cleaning concrete. That has too much pressure and it's going to affect your paint. You never want to get too close to your paint with high pressure, so you'll always want to stay at least 6 to 8 inches away from your paint when you're rinsing it off. Take these towels here. So to make the soap come out, you have to be on the minimum setting, and you're going to want to soap your whole car and just wait a couple minutes as that soap reacts with the dirt and grime on your vehicle, because as the soap works on that grime and dirt on your vehicle, it's going to help break it apart so that when you spray it off, it's going to come right off. So that concludes today's tips and tricks for washing your vehicle. Don't forget, if you have a convertible, a lot of dirt gets stuck up in that cloth top. So do a really good job of soaping and rinsing it. And when you wash a vehicle, it's like washing your body. You don't start with your feet and end up with washing your face. That'd be disgusting. You definitely don't want to be using the same rag you used on your feet is on your face. So what you're gonna want to do on your vehicle is just like you do when you're taking a shower. Start at the top and finish at the bottom. So that's what I'm gonna go right ahead and do. I'm gonna start my pressure washer on minimum to spray the soap. Now when you spray the soap, it definitely should be coming out and leaving a soapy residue. Last tip, if it's not shooting out a white residue, it's either because you're not on minimum or your pressure washer hose. When you load in your soap, there's a little plastic hose that can get cramped. So you might want to go into your pressure washer. I'll show you right here. These buckets, they can be removed, and the plastic does have a tendency to bend. If it bends, you're not going to be getting soap into your hose system and out your gun. So you just want to adjust it. Usually you can adjust the length of how much goes into your little bucket and how much goes into the machine. So find the right length that works for you. Make sure the hose isn't cramped. It's not bent. Check it over. Close the top, and with checking those two things, you'll be ready to shoot some soap on the vehicle. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please hit like and subscribe.